The church has been able to grow. We've seen our walls expand, we've seen our roof getting larger, and the more souls we bring in, the more souls are going to be saved.
We are your church. We pray, revive this earth.
This building has really enhanced the worship experience. The lighting's great now, the music sounds wonderful. It's just a nice, comfortable place to come and worship.
The neat thing about the new worship center is having a place that everyone can worship and really feel like they're part of the church instead of being stuck in a gym. It just really opens it up and gives everyone an opportunity to be part of what's going on.
My mom used to say, when you get grown and you go off on your own, you need to find a church that you love and let it be with people that you like. And when I came to Concord, that's exactly what I found.
Build your kingdom here, let the darkness fear. Show your mighty hand, heal our streets and land. Set your church on fire, win this nation back. Change the atmosphere, build your kingdom here, we pray.
There were several reasons why we needed to expand. We needed more space for our Sunday morning light contemporary worship service. And we needed more user-friendly space. And we knew that we needed more space for our youth. And we recognized also that all of this would have a domino effect, that if we provided new space for our youth, that we would have an opportunity to take the old youth classrooms and use them for children's ministry. And then also we needed more space for the CADES, our older adult ministry. We were just in need of greater space for ministry. It was time to do what we could do to make it happen.
The church made a commitment to contemporary worship in 1999 as a way of bringing young families into the church. And we did that in our gym, and we quickly outgrew the gym and added the second service at 11 o'clock, which really is a better time for young families to come, and we saw that service grow even faster. And really only 3 or 4 years after we started the 11 o'clock service did we realize that this is not enough room. And we've actually stunted our growth by asking people to come in and get crammed into that gym on folding chairs Sunday after Sunday. So for the church to continue to reach out to young families, which is such a big part of our context here in the Farragut community, we knew we had to make more room. There was no way to make more room in the gym. Plus we had technical issues in there. It's a gym, it's a wonderful gym, but acoustically it wasn't good. We had to continue to set up and tear down every week, which was wear and tear on our equipment. And all of that really conspired to make it a difficult day on Sunday to present a consistently high quality worship experience. So we realized we had to do something. What if we built a new worship center that we could use primarily for worship, but we wanted to build it in a way that we could offer opportunities for people even outside of our church community and the larger community to come in and use the space for their needs.
The need was for a multi-purpose type of facility that would enable us to respond to the varied needs within our community. Obviously we have needs for older adults, for younger adults, for children, and for all those in between.
There was talk some years ago, perhaps even going off campus, but it was determined that we would be better off to stay here. So then the conversation became, okay, then what do we do here?
We had a master plan that had been brought together by several people in this congregation, the leadership of the congregation. And that master plan included purchasing all the houses to the east. And right where I'm sitting right now, we're area where those houses were. One by one, each homeowner began to respond to us and say, been thinking about what you have said about your desire to have these homes and to buy them from us. And although at first we didn't consider it as a possibility, we feel that it's the right thing to do. We went through the process then of taking the houses, moving some of them, selling some of them, but always using them in a way, the materials that would help others. And we felt so good about the process and the fact that, that we were in good terms with all the neighbors when it was over with. And it was truly a God thing. I don't think there's any doubt about that.
A lot of people brought pieces of this vision together, and I think that's the wonderful way that God works by the power of His Spirit in a church. He inspires people with different pieces of the vision, so no one has the vision, only God has the vision, but He inspires people to get pieces of it, and they come forward and they offer their piece of the vision, and then we start seeing this picture develop.
The architect, Lee Ingram, listened to us as we talked about what we felt were perceived needs. And with the skills that he had of listening and in the skill he had as an architect, he was able to translate those needs, those dreams, those desires into a facility that, that matched the architecture that we already had here.
We decided that we would make it a room that we could that would have modular seating. We could move it in and out, so we could reconfigure the room with tables for our Wednesday night dinners, or with tables for many of the fundraising events that support other groups in this community and beyond here at the church.
We ended up with a facility that houses ministries in the name and the Spirit of Jesus Christ. With this new facility, we are anchored to the rock and we're geared to the times. We're able to effectively communicate the gospel of Jesus Christ.
What we have is a building that is architecturally very sound. It has wonderful acoustics. We have enough technology to accomplish what we want to accomplish in here without letting technology become the point. We never wanted to do that. With the stained glass, with the brick, and with the natural wood, we have a room that has a wonderful aesthetic on its own. You walk in the doors and you know you're in a worship space before we do anything else. It's comfortable, and what I've heard over and over again from people is it feels warm and welcoming. And you know, that's what we're all about, is welcoming people into the church so that they may be welcomed into the kingdom of God as a disciple of Jesus Christ. And we have absolutely accomplished that through the work and vision of so many people.
We realized that we were doing something that was beyond ourselves. If it was going to happen, God was going to have to do it through us. It was greater than any of us could ever imagine. And God has been so faithful. In that sense, it has built faith within us and made us a more faith-focused community.
The reason is not that we wanted to have larger attendance numbers so that we could thump our chest and say, look, you know, we have the 7th or 8th or 5th or 6th largest attendance in the Holston Conference. That wasn't the point. The whole point of this was to be able to offer a place for more people to come into worship, to be inspired, to be spiritually energized, so that we can send them out the doors and into ministry, because that's why we're here. The worship that we do here on Sunday morning should simply be a reflection of and celebration of the larger body of worship that the church has conducted all week long through service to this community and beyond.
We had a kitchen, we had a gym, but we needed more dedicated space that would enable us to respond to greater needs and larger number of people. We needed to expand what we were already doing, and then we also needed to add new ministries that we could not do until we had the facilities to house such ministries.
In the old kitchen, it was pretty much like cooking in your kitchen at home. We would turn a microwave on and a coffee pot and the fuse would blow. We used to try to cook soup on a grill, and to cook a soup on a grill is pretty hard because grill tops are very hot and they would always burn on the bottom. It was just quite the challenge to do that. In our new facility, in the new kitchen, we have many new things. We have a beautiful 8-burner gas stove top with convectional ovens underneath. We have walk-in refrigerator, walk-in freezer, which we can store a ton of stuff. To do large meals for hundreds of people, you need countertop, and I tell you, we have counter space. Good food brings people, and that's the most important thing of it all, is getting people here to worship and fellowship with each other.
One of the issues with having churches with multiple worship styles is that it can create two separate congregations. So the idea to build this connector between the two worship spaces so that people empty into the narthex of the sanctuary and out into the lobby area of the worship center, and that connecting corridor just drives people together.
We have 2 adult classrooms right across the hall from the worship center. Each Sunday morning we have adults who are meeting in those classrooms.
Since the youth have moved into the new building, we've evolved in how we do things and what we do, and they enjoy having the floor that's kind of themselves, and that they're not on top of other adult classes. They're not got somebody next door that they're making too much noise for. They have the comfortable chairs, they have the game room, we have the sound system, and we can play it louder, reading music and videos as they come in. It gives us a place to set the tone, to feel youthful, energetic, and that they can kind of relax in, that they've set apart, and that they appreciate the church has given them this space that's set apart. Not many churches have the resources and the opportunities that we have here at Concord, and we really appreciate the church's support in building and dedicating this space to youth, because it sends the message to youth families, we care about youth here. And when new families visit, they see that.
With the addition of the new space and youth moving up into their new wing of the building, it opened up a whole new opportunity for the children to be able to truly take over an area of the church and make it their own. And we've actually been able to set up an area where we are all in a horseshoe shape, with our gathering place, the welcome mat, being the center of all the activity that is the family ministry department. On any given Sunday, we have over 120 children that gather in there for opening worship, announcements, and fellowship time before Sunday school begins each and every week.
We were able to paint and make it more exciting for the children. I feel like we have more to offer. We have a bigger space and just a fun environment. It's very colorful down there. I feel like if the children are excited about being at Concord, then the family will follow.
Probably the biggest impact that it's made on our ministry is Vacation Bible School. We had been meeting and doing our opening assembly time in the gym, and had pretty much maxed that out about 3 years ago with about 180 children. With the addition of the new worship space, we were able to move in there, and truly our Vacation Bible School has doubled in size. We went from 180 children 3 years ago to this past year we had 360 children registered for Vacation Bible School with over 100 volunteers.
And I love Wednesday nights. Wednesday night dinners are just a wonderful place to come. It is like coming home, because we get to come together and knowing that people have come from their various vocations, but it's the heart of this place that draws them back.
Church members are so proud of this space that they are also more eager to invite their friends. And I don't know how many new people have come into this church and told me that this family or that family who are neighbors or live down the street invited them to come. And so what's happening in this space is exactly what we thought would happen. It's allowing people to come into the church who may have never been in before or haven't been in a long time, to come and experience the presence of God. And even now we're seeing some of these new people from 2 years ago inviting their friends to come.
Sunday morning light was great when we had it in the gym, but I think it's when a visitor comes now, I think it's much more impressive. I think it's a lot better experience than it was when we were meeting over in the gym.
This space attracts new people in that they feel that they are welcome. They feel comfort when they walk in the doors. They see the smiling faces of our members, and everyone loves to see new people walk through the door.
They get to see how much that the church is invested in them, and we know that there are people that are looking for a more contemporary place to worship and to get involved and enthused in the worship service. They see that we've invested in it, and everybody's so excited.
If my guess is right, we've got a lot more folks coming to Sunday morning light services than before this new facility was built.
It also freed up space for our CAGES program and make it more inviting and user-friendly for this vital ministry that truly is taking care of people who are in early stage Alzheimer's.
There is a room upstairs that has accumulated several different nicknames. It first was called the Cry Room. It's also called the Skybox, and I kind of like that because of the way it overlooks the worship center. But there is a place where parents with children that may be getting a little noisy, where they can take them and feel like they're not bothering anybody. And I want to be quick to say, the sound of children, whether they're laughing, crying, fussing, or otherwise, is music to a church. And while it doesn't bother us, when I say us, I mean the staff of the church and I think most of the congregation, they can feel self-conscious anyway. So we have this wonderful place where they can go and watch the service through the windows. The room is laid out so that it makes a wonderful space for meetings. We have small groups that are meeting there. The young adults meet there on Sunday morning. The youth use it on Sunday night. So that's been a really nice bonus space.
We have done a renovation to the sanctuary, which has enabled it to be much more user-friendly. Maintaining the sense of reverence and the practice of traditional worship, and yet enhancing the ability to hear and to see and to be involved in traditional worship.
You know, something that's really beautiful to me, and this happens particularly, you see it on a weekend, on Saturday, if happen to be here getting a little work done, you look out in the parking lot and there is a mom and dad teaching their child how to ride a bike without training wheels for the first time. Or there's a mom or a dad with their child in their remote-controlled car, or their tricycles, or you see kids with scooters, or other families doing those sorts of activities out here in our parking lot in a safe space for them. There is a partial walking trail, and I see people who walk this neighborhood who will come over and get on our walking trail, and they always smile and wave as if to say, hey, thanks. This is really nice. And we wanted to be a good citizen in this community, desperately wanted to do that. And I really believe that we are, and I think people are acknowledging that by coming and participating in activities that aren't church-related on our property.
We have seen a huge influx of new families with a continued renewed focus on being family-friendly in our worship, providing new opportunities for families and expanded space for families to worship together.
When I come into the new worship center, it's just a feeling of intimacy, that it doesn't have that big institutional feel. It has a very warmth about it.
We knew that with the addition of the new space, we would have new people come. But I think we have been completely overwhelmed and blessed by the outpouring of the community that has come to check out Concord. We are continuing to grow and bring in new families each and every week, which is such an exciting time in the life of our church and a fantastic opportunity to make a true difference in the next generation.
I grew up in this church. My place of worship when I grew up was what's now the fellowship hall. That was our sanctuary. And it was during my youth that our current sanctuary was built. So I left here and have been gone for 30 years, and when I came back, this was the structure that I found. The heart and the spirit that had undergirded my youth was still very much here. And so when I came and I saw the new worship center, I thought we again are leaving a legacy. And when I walked upstairs in particular to what is now the youth area, my heart just overflowed with thanksgiving because it was evident to me that this was a church that did not just say, we care about the future and therefore we're investing in a youth area for this church, but they really were putting their hearts and their pocketbooks into making that happen.
I certainly remember many services in the gym when we had the Sunday morning light service there. It's like going from dark to daylight to be in the new worship center. It's just a unique place to worship now, and it's ours to share with our membership and to share with the world.
But there comes a time, of course, when we need to ask ourselves, how are we going to pay for it? And the only way we can pay for it is through the generosity of God's people. And we appreciate the giving that has already taken place, but we recognize that as we give thanks and celebrate the ministries that are here, that we also must pay for what we are seeing going on so that this facility can be paid off and we can use money for other ministry that's significant.
What it's done for the church, I think, is what Jesus did for the world. It's created hope. And I think that is a big testimony of this church, is that they have clung to hope, which to me is the whole basis of faith, is that belief that there is something beyond that which we can see, and God can do immeasurably more than we can hope or imagine.
I believe that the church is the best investment that you could ever make right now. I've raised for the last 9 years 2 children here, and just what they've learned and the kind of kids they've become and the people I've met here, I can't think of any better investment that I've ever made in my life than money that I've given to this church.
You know, every year my wife and I sit down and we figure out where we're going to give for charity. And the one thing that's so striking to me is the power that every dollar goes to in the church. Once you give, that dollar does tremendous things relative to any other charity you can give to. As we give throughout the years, whatever charity it is, nowhere else will you get the power of that dollar, the more effect of that than you will by giving to the church.
As you see, we have a wonderful facility here that houses many ministries that would not be able to happen without you.
If you want to use a business term, return on investment, for people who have given to this building campaign whenever we built this building, and now as we continue to pay for it, I think the way you calculate that is to look not just at attendance numbers. I think you look at the mission and ministry of the church. That, I think, is where you see the return on investment, is you see new people coming in, being deployed into the ministries of this church, and we're able to do more things for more people in our community, and this is just the beginning.